problem statement here. So you are given an array with error, and you have to return true if there are three consecutive odd numbers in the array, otherwise false. So to understand this question in a better way, let us see the test case 1 and 2 in detail. Okay. So move on to test case 1. So the first three consecutive numbers are what? 2, 6, 4. And these three numbers are not even odd numbers. So this is not our three consecutive numbers, right? So move on to next three consecutive numbers are 6, 4, 1, and they are also not all odd numbers. So check for next three consecutive number 4, 1, 3. These all are also not odd numbers. And the take the next three consecutive numbers 1, 3, 2. This group also not having all the odd numbers. So that's why answer is supposed to be false for this, because in this test case one, there is no at least one three consecutive numbers who are odd numbers. That's the output is false for the test case one. So move on to test case two. In this test case two, take the first consecutive three consecutive numbers, that is 1, 2, 3. And this group also not having all the odd numbers. Move on to next three consecutive numbers 2, 3, 4. And this 2, 3, 4 is also not all are odd numbers. Move on to the next three consecutive numbers 3, 4, 5. And this group also not having all the odd numbers. Move on to next three consecutive number 4, 5, 7. And this group also not having three odd numbers. So move on to next three consecutive numbers 5, 7, 9. So here 579, this group is having all their all are what? Odd numbers. So here these three consecutive numbers 579 all are odd numbers. So that's why output supposed to be true for test case 2. Why? Because in the question he mentioned that you have to print true if there exist any three consecutive numbers and that group is containing all are odd numbers. So here there is such a group in the array here. 579 is the three consecutive odd numbers here. That's the output is true. And otherwise, answer is false. You have to print. So I hope you understood this question in a better way. Feel free to try yourself. You understood the question. Otherwise, we will dive into the solution. Yes. So come back to the solution. So actually we have three solutions for the same problem. So let us see the one by one. The first solution is brute force solution. So let us see what is this solution, and we will understand how this let us see how this is going to work in the real part, in the real action. Okay, so let's see. First of all, standard index value 0. So actually I'm taking one array for understanding purpose, and in this array we have almost 11 elements in this. The last element index value is 10 here, so total we have the n value. I'm taking it as 11 elements. So initially standard index value 0. It means that let's take I is my position, I. So I means my current location. So initially I am standing at index value 0. So keep I value is initially 0. Now, now wherever you stood there, try to verify whether it is odd number or not. Okay. So first of all, see this condition. What is array of I? Array of I means my current location. At my current location, what is my value? 3. Is it odd number? Yes, it is odd number. How to check? The remainder is supposed to be 1. If you divide that number with 2, remainder is supposed to be 1, means it is odd number. Yes or no? Right? So otherwise, we can say if you divide any number with 2, if the remainder always 1 means it is odd number. 1 means it is true, right? So if this is true means what? Our current position value is odd number. If our current position is odd number, don't say answer is true. Again, you have to check the next number to our current position. So that is I plus 1. Because I is our current position, you have to check for I plus 1. In the same way, check for whether I plus 1 is also odd number or not. Because question is what you have to verify, is there any three consecutive odd numbers. First, I checked whether our current position value is odd number or not. If it is yes, again you have to check its next value is odd number or not, right? So this is for checking the next neighbor of our current location, whether it is odd number or not. So here, if you observe carefully here, this condition is true, So let me take some other color here. So now this condition is true because I is our current location. At I, what is the value we have? 3. So 3 is odd number. It is true. And I plus 1 means next location. Next location of our current location. Our current location is 0, right? So our next location is what? 1. So that is I plus 1. So 5 also what? Odd number. So this condition also true. But don't say answer is true now because we have to check in this, we have to check like this for continuously three numbers, right? So we checked the three odd number, five also I checked odd number. Again, you have to check the next number, two. That is I is our current location. From that location, you have to move forward to two steps. That is I plus two. So here I'm writing C array of I plus two also supposed to be odd number, right? So because we have to verify for consecutive three numbers, not consecutive two numbers, right? So here if you observe carefully, here what is array of I plus I is 0. 0 plus 2 means this position. At this position we have value is what? 2. So 2 is what? Not odd number. So out of these three conditions, right? This is current value. This is current value. This is our next to the current value, and this is the next to the next of our current position. So all these three supposed to be odd number, but unfortunately, first two numbers are odd numbers, but the last one is not odd number. It means that 3, 5, 2 is not the three consecutive odd numbers group. So if it is not, so this condition is now fails here. So you have to keep and all conditions supposed to be true here. But unfortunately, this condition, entire condition is false because everyone is not odd number. So if everyone is odd, not odd number, then you have to shift to the next position. You have to shift to next position, right? So our current position is what actually? So our current position is at 0, right? So move to index value 1, right? So move to index value 1. So shift to index value 1. So now my I value is 1. My current location is 1. Now again, check the same condition. Again, check these three conditions. Now my current location is 5. That is area of I value is 5. 5 is odd number. Yes, 5 is odd number. Then if 5 is odd number, if our current value is odd number, then check the next value to the current value. So what is the next value to current value? That is 2. But unfortunately 2 is not odd number. Then no need to check for 9 because we want three consecutive odd numbers. 5 is odd number, but 2 is not odd number. So that's why no need to check for whether the third position element from current position is whether it is odd number or not or even number or not. We don't care about that. If second element is not odd number, then no need to check for third number, right? So here at index value 1 also, we are unable to find three consecutive odd numbers. That is 5 to 9 are not three consecutive odd numbers, right? If it is not, again you have to move to the next position, index value 2. So what is my next position? Index value 2. At index value 2, what's my value here? 2. Is it odd number? No, it is even number. Then no need to check for whether 9 and 4 are odd numbers or even numbers. No need to check that because first our current position value only, not so I hope you understood this, right? Not odd number. Then why we should check for remaining two values, right? So directly I will go to index value 3. So at index value 3, odd number is there. If our current value is odd number means check the next one. So next one is not odd number, then no need to check for the next value, that is 7. So directly move on to the next position 4. 4 is even number, so no need to check 7 and 8, right? And move on to next position 5, that is value is 7. So 7 is odd number. So if our value current position value is odd number means check the next value. Next value is unfortunately not odd number, even number. So no need to check for 3. So move on to next position 6, value is 8. So even number, so no need to check for 3 and 5. So move on to next position, that is 7. At 7 we have, so my I value is 7 or index value. So at 7, our current value is odd number. If our current value is odd number means I plus 1, which is 8. At 8, what is the value we have? 5. 5 also odd number. Now, if first value and second value is odd number, then again you have to check for third number. Here that is I plus 2, right? That already a condition I written here. So I plus 2. What is I here? 7. 7 plus 2, how much? 9. So 8 and 9, what is the value we have? 7. So this 7 is what? Odd number. So now if you observe in this case, whenever we are standing at index value 7, from index value 7, continuous 3 numbers are what? 3, 5, 7. So this group are all are having odd numbers. Now you can say here output supposed to be true. For example, at index value 9 we have even number. So it means that what? So even though you are index value 7, 3 and 5, right? 3 and 5 are odd numbers, but 8 is not odd number. So again, what you will do? We will go to next position 8, and again I will check whether 5 is odd number or not. 5 is odd number means I will check for 8. So like that it will move on. So to up to what index value you have to move on up to only 8, because I am looking for three consecutive numbers. So three consecutive numbers means you have to come back. So in the reverse way, you have to come back to the last third from end. We have to come back to the third value. So that's why we should not move to up to I is equal to 9 and up to I is equal to 10. We should not move. Why? Because we have to check for three consecutive values, right? So our last position will come up to 8 only. So you understood this, right? So the idea is simple here. So let us see the coding part. So here I started from what? 0, and every time what I am doing? I, I plus 1 and I plus 2. Three values I am checking whether they are odd numbers or not. If they are odd numbers, answer is true. Otherwise, I will go to the next type value. So like that, my maximum I will come to up to 8 only I will take. Here, what is my total number of elements here? 11. So up to 8 have to reach. So that is nothing but what? That is nothing but n is 11. So 8 I want, right? So that is n minus 3, right? So that is the ending value of I. Okay, and what is the starting value of I? The starting value of I am starting from what? 0. So these values I am telling to write the for loop. Okay, so because for loop requires starting and ending values of variable I, right? So let us move into the code part. So this is the code here. So this is the code I am telling you, right? So here the code is simple. So first what I am doing, I am calculating the total number of elements in the array by using length function. After here, what is my n value here? 11 according to the example. And here this range is very important. Here what is the starting value of I here? 0. So starting value of I is 0. And what is ending value of I here? N minus 3, right? But here I am writing n minus 2. Why? Because basically this range function will not take, if you write n minus 3, it will take up to n minus 4 only. So to get n minus 3, definitely you should write one extra value, that is n minus 2. So that is the reason why I'm writing n minus 2 here, but don't say the ending value of I is not n minus 2. It is n minus 3. So you've understood this, right? So now 0 comma n minus 2. So now here what I'm writing in this condition, array of I means current value. If current value is odd number means check for next neighbor value. It is also odd number means check for next neighbor value, third value. It is also odd number means final answer will be true. If any one of these conditions are not true, then I will move on to the next position, right? Even though you reach it to last index value, even though you reach it to last index value 8, if you are unable to find the three consecutive ones, final answer is false, right? So that line I'm writing in the last place. So this line is written outside the for loop. Be carefully here, right? So this is the first logic and this is the first code. So okay, so let's see the last solution of this video. So here logic is very simple compared to the second solution. So initially standard index is 0 and take one more variable called count variable, and that denotes the number of odd numbers. Okay. Initially number of odd numbers keep it 0. Now initially standard 0, index is 0. Now at current position, what is the value here? It is odd number, right? If it is odd number, then simply increment the count value by 1. So what is my count value now? It is 1. Okay. Now so move on to next position. Now, the next question also, what's my value 5? It is also odd number. So then simply increment the count value of is 2, right? So it means that up to now we got continuously two odd numbers, that's 3 and 5. So move on to next position. Now in the next position, what's my value here? 2. It is not odd number. If it is not odd number, then simply make a count again back to 0. Because we got only continuously two odd numbers, but third number is not odd number, it is even number, so make count equal to 0. Then move on to next position 9, next position 3. So here what is the value here? 9, so it is odd number, so simply increment the count value and move on to next position, that is 4. So 4 is even number. It means make count value again back to 0. So it means that continuously we have only one odd number consecutively, right? So that's what I'm making count back to 0. So move on to next place, that is index value 5. At 5, what's the value we have? 7. So 7 is odd number, so simply increment count value by 1. Then move on to next place, that is 6. At index value 6, the value is 8, so it is odd even number, so make counts back to 0. So it means that continuously we have only one odd number here, so that's why again I'm making count back to 0. So move on to next place, index value 7. So what's the value here? We have odd number, so increment the counter value by 1. So move on to next place, that is 5. So 5 is odd number. So simply increment count value by 1. So that is 2. So it means that continuously we got two odd numbers, that is 3 and 5. So move on to next place, that is 9. So at 9 we have one more value, 7. Now 7 is what? Odd number. Now what is the count value now? It will become 3. It means that continuously we got 3 odd numbers. That's why count we got is 3. So once the count is becoming 3 means we got the 3 continuous odd numbers. So in that case, whenever count is 3, directly you can say answer is true. So this is the logic here. So simple logic is what? Check the current number. If it is odd number, increment the count value by 1. If it is even number, then bring the count value back to 0. And whenever count is 3, it means that we got 3 continuous odd numbers. So directly answer supposed to be true. If you do this process until the last place, you have to do this process up to the last value. So even though you did the same process up to the last value, but at any place the count is not becoming 3, it means that the answer finally false. So this is the logic for the third solution. Let us see the code part. Right, so code is this one. So find first to count the n value. Actually, this line is not required here. So initially keep it count is 0, and take each value from the array error and check whether it is even number, odd number or not. If it's odd number, increment the count value by 1. Otherwise, if it is even number means count you have to make it to 0. So I have to do this process, and whenever count is 3, it means that we got 3 consecutive odd numbers. So directly answer is true. If you do this process until the last value, even though count is not becoming 3 means final answer will be false. So this is the solution for uh, the same question 1550. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. So keep